Live. Okay, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome you to the Red Tag Media Podcast, and thank you for taking your time out of your busy schedule. Of course, people are busy on a weekend dealing with family matters, but we welcome you here. And of course, this is the platform where we discuss national matters and national issues regarding to Zambia in particular, and of course, developmental issues that people need to know about, and sharing. Just sit down and share ideas. So let's sit down and share ideas, exchange ideas, so that we're able to uh, uh, you know, uh, uh, contribute as a diaspora in general, as well as a lot of Zambians that always want to talk about certain issues. So thank you very much. My name is Chanda Chilufya. Of course, I'm broadcasting live from Ontario, Canada. And of course, here we're joined by our very own older statesman. He's joined us all the way from you didn't tell me where you joining us from, Ricky. Which I know it's in the US, but where?
I'm in Maryland.
Oh, wow, yeah. That's it's close to Washington, right?
Yes, it is just in the DMV in Washington, Virginia area.
Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah, and of course we're joined by Mr. Gilbert. Mr. Gilbert, where you joining us from, and just a brief introduction and all that stuff. Is Mr. Gilbert just listening in? In any case, Mr. Ricky, in fact, I didn't even say this, but for the sake of the viewers, of course, you need to at least tell us about you, just a brief background, so that people can understand, where we're coming from and where we are. Just a big background about yourself, and then we'll go from there. And yeah.
Yeah, I'm a land surveyor and an environmental law attorney.
And if you just speak closely to the mic, because your voice is a little bit faint.
Yes, I'm a land surveyor based in Washington, D.C. I'm licensed in Maryland and District of Columbia. I'm also licensed in Zambia. In Zambia, I run a practice called Data and Surveying Consultants.
Fantastic. Okay, that's good to know. In case people want to have their land surveyed, well, you know who to contact and the person to talk to. We've got one person here, so that's a beautiful thing. And of course, we have our own Baba Francis Kombe, of course, joining us from. Is it now Barbara Banda's town or what? What is it?
It is.
Yeah, so it's you could at least just briefly, tell us, about yourself for the sake of the viewers.
My name is Francis Kombe, Zambian, living in the US. Been out for a while now, almost 2 decades. I'm in healthcare and loving Zambian.
Fantastic. And of course, we got a permanent resident, P.S. Bakazia, who's joined us. Of course, he's going to give a different side of the story. I think, like we say, the coin has two sides, and we always want to here at this show. We invite everybody. If you want to join in, you can join in. We don't really care if you're from the opposition, because at the end of the day, we're all Zambians, and what we trying to portray or trying to communicate is good governance and politics and economic issues. So Bagazia, welcome to the show.
Wow, thank you very much, Chanda. I am Kazia, former permanent secretary in the Ministry of Labor and Social Security, and I was also former labor commissioner. I also worked with at NPA. I'm currently in New Brunswick. I work for Eastern College in the career services as an employment specialist.
Fantastic. Okay, so I think we need to move on and start the program. In the first topic, I think the elephant in the room, everybody wants to know is it a deep fake? Was that a real communication between Chabinga and Doreen Mwamba? Like, everybody has been questioning, and it's been on the internet, and everybody's talking about it, really, and want to know, what is it? Like, did they really talk about it, or did the president, just if you go there now, it becomes a little bit of a different conversation. Like, did the president call him 21 times at midnight or 02 and ask him to go and do that kind of operation in South Africa? And why him? As opposed to using with government operatives that I don't know, guys. Who wants to start first on this one? Who wants to delve in this one? Bakombe.
Mkoy. Yeah, thank you so much. Thanks for having me. Great show, great program. You're doing a tremendous job by just highlighting all these important topics that are involving our country and people in the diaspora. Yeah, I listened to the audio. It was funny, and I think, I don't know what to say. I don't know if it's real or if it's AI. I wouldn't know. I think what I would love to have is Honorable Chawinga to come and explain what he meant. It's not a very good audio because he's trying to insinuate that the president was in it, and I find that very troubling for the president to have called him 20 times. It doesn't make sense at all. At all. So I would love for him to come and explain, or to explain to the Zambian people what he meant. I think if the audio is true, he was stretching. He was stretching the stories a little bit. And I really don't believe that the president would do such a thing. That's just my take. And like you put it in the preamble, why would the president involve him instead of involving government at the highest level, if they're trying to do that? And the president, being a very law-abiding citizen and a person who believes in principle, I do not think he would engage in such a thing. Here's my question to the Zambian people. The question is, what is it? What benefit does the president get if the judge says former President ECL should be buried in Zambia? There is no benefit at all. The president has explained it very clearly. He just wants to follow the law, and this has been tradition. And the sad part is this very same people who are fighting the government to bring back the remains of our sixth president are the very same people who were presiding when our first president Kaunda passed. Honorable Given Luwenda was justice minister. He went against the family. Honorable, our late president was, I think, Minister of Information, Home Affairs Minister. He went against the family. A Kaunda family member came and said they overruled the request of the family to have him buried next to his wife. That is protocol. So I find it very interesting that the same people who were lecturing the Kaunda family then, and the Zambian people, that late President Kaunda was an asset of the nation, are the same people who are fighting this, unless they're trying to say they want to use the remains of the former president to further their agenda. I find it very troubling. But coming to Chawinga's statement, I think he has to come out and explain exactly what he meant. I think he dented the president's statement. It's very unfortunate.
Fantastic. Okay. Before we move ahead, welcome, Dr. Musanje. Welcome to the show. And of course, if you want to just introduce yourself, of course, we just tapped onto the first topic. You're right on time. How are you today?
I'm doing okay, but I was attending a funeral in Zambia
Oh,
online.
oh, okay. Family member?
Yes, we lost the wife of our bishop, a former bishop in the BIC church, Bishop Shamapani. Lost
Oh,
his wife a few days ago, and she was buried in my village.
okay.
Where he was a pastor before he became a bishop.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
So yeah, we were
condolences.
the UPND was represented by my young brother, Dr. Joseph Munsanje,
Musanje,
and
Joseph, yeah.
he conveyed the messages from the president at the funeral. That was huge.
Okay. Oh, that's good. That's good. So anyway, we're talking about the audio. I don't know if you listened to the audio of Mr. Chabinga and Doreen Mwamba. I don't know what you think about it. Is it genuine? Is it real? Like, what are the impacts or implications? Because they're implicating the head of state on that one.
Excuse me on this one. I'm laughing because being a little bit older,
Okay.
we are challenged with this AI and how it really works.
Mm-hmm.
So I really don't have a lot to say. I don't know whether it is true or whether it's a fake. But my opinion is that this thing is a fake.
Okay. Yeah. Your opinion is, of course, respected here.
Yeah.
That is your opinion. Maybe let's bring in Vakazdia. What do you think about the audio?
You guys,
Vakazdia.
this audio, guys, you messed up big time. This one is a mess up. To try, like Wakombe is trying to bring in the death, all the people that did with Kaunda. You know that for Kaunda, the people that took the government to court was family. This time is government taking the family to court. So there is a difference immediately from the onset. Now, coming back to the audio you messed up big time. There is no way on earth that Chabinga, but in fact, the vice president confirmed that the authenticity of the video, the audio. She said it was just an intention. It was just a suggestion. Imagine you go at the floor of the parliament to go and say that is a suggestion to commit crime. A suggestion to commit crime in a foreign country. That is a miss. I think what needs to be done is to deal with Chabinga. The only way that is going to exonerate the UPND party and the government is by dealing with Chabinga. You can't bring the head of state in such a conversation and the next day you are scot-free. You are walking around there, you have not been picked, where you implicate the head of state into a corruption scandal in a foreign country. And then people pretend like nothing happened. And then you have a cabinet minister discussing another cabinet minister with a leader of another party, political party, according to UPND. Where did Chabinga get the audacity to start discussing the Minister of Justice? Where did he get the powers to start having a conversation on the Minister of Justice? Oh, he should have been moved. Really? Seriously? And then you see the issue of saying whether that is not fake or whatever. AI cannot know. Ati mulishani ba Doreen ati tulefutauka. Ukufutauka AI can you have a conversation for ukufutauka. You see that the conversation took place. The only thing is that let's deal with Chabinga. Chabinga, if he stretched things, he was never in contact with the president, he must be dealt with. If he's not dealt with, then we know the conversation between the president is involved. He must come out clean. The president must come out clean and say, I don't tolerate this kind of nonsense. Don't bring me in things that I don't know, and we're going to deal with you using the law. You can't plan to commit crime and be free. No, it was just a thought of committing crime. If Chanda today I say, when I meet you, I will shoot you, and then you can no, it was just a thought that I will shoot you. No, you can take me to court and I can be held accountable for threatening violence on you. That is the same thing. That's a crime. Chabinga has messed you guys up. You need to clean up that. To start to run away. No, the president not involved. How do you know? You are just saying he cannot be. He cannot. Are you the president? You're not the president to know whether the president. We want to hear from him as well. To dispute that, I am not involved and the law will take its course. Period. I think for me, I'll be very comfortable when I hear a statement that shows that Chabinga is going to be dealt with, and in that line that the president is not involved. I want to hear that. Not when I see Chabinga running around there, even saying, "Ine mumbokulira, people are quite difficult." It was I corner man. The president has said I corner man. The president, I don't think the president was involved unless he doesn't do anything. If he doesn't do anything about it, he's involved. If he does something about it, he's exonerated.
Okay. Well, that's a good submission. Of course, those are your opinions. Maybe Gilbert, I don't know what your take is on this one. I know you specifically want to discuss on something, but just in general, what do you think about the issue of the audio, Mr. Gilbert? Hello, Gilbert, are you there? Well, I think it's probably listening. So, but with me, if you had to ask me, okay, I know AI can do a lot of things. I myself use AI a lot, and you can make almost anything out of AI right now as we're speaking. You can even take just a small piece of your voice and generate a whole conversation out of that piece. That's possible, okay? But looking at the context of the whole conversation, first of all, the way I looked at it was whether it was used by AI or whether it was real. With me, I felt like no. I think what's the whole conversation here? There's nowhere that I would believe a head of state, especially HH at his caliber and the way he is and just his reputation, can call one guy called Chabinga to say, can you go and do Mingato in South Africa? I do not see that. I don't see it. I don't see it. And I don't even think that the president himself would even do something like that, because one, the president at this point is just too busy to be handling trivial issues like that. Okay? He's handling real big issues concerning the economy of the country. And there's no way he can call Chabinga 21 times or 22 times, whatever he was claiming, or maybe he was just trying to brag, something. I don't know. I don't know about Doreen and Chabinga, the relationship between the two. I don't know what it is. But maybe if I'll give an example. And then you just want to brag, and then you start saying things that are not even true. You tell, oh, I know, you know what? That's my car, but you don't even own it. Oh, that's my car. What? I own a house there. I own a house there. Maybe it even makes sense if we look at it that way. But looking at it as the whole president giving that kind of instruction to one Chabinga. First of all, does Chabinga have influence in South Africa? Does he have, what kind of influence does he have to go and sit down a judge in South Africa and bribe? That's what I want to know. How powerful is Chabinga really? Okay? So that's one thing. I do not think Mr. Chabinga is that powerful. I don't think he's that powerful.
I have a question, Bachanda.
No, let me finish. I don't think that Chabinga is that powerful to be used by the head of state. Because, in fact, if okay, let's just flip it the other way. If the president wanted to do that, why would he use an individual as a civilian when we've got OP? Why is OP in place? Okay? We've got OP. So why not use OP if that's what they wanted to do? So really, I don't really believe in that. I don't really subscribe to that. What was I saying, Wakazia?
OP is involved through the Director General of Zambia Central Intelligence, Zambia Intelligence Agency. Is involved Friday Nyambe. He is involved. And he is the one who was discussing with Chabinga, according to Chabinga. Now, I
didn't hear OP there when Chabinga was saying where was.
No, but you didn't hear Nyambe. You don't know Nyambe, that Nyambe is the Director General of OP. The one who the president gave him 12 missed calls. The other one with 8 missed calls is the Director General of the Zambia Intelligence. So there were 2 calls. He says the president called him 12 times, the other one called him 30 times. So when he called the president told him to call the other person who actually arranged for him to leave at 05. And the videos are there for Chabinga leaving at 05. And Chabinga explaining in detail how he left Zambia. And the videos are there. And there's evidence that at the time he was talking, he was in South Africa. So you see, if you go to the land of the AI cannot use certain words no matter what you do. For instance, ukufutauka. And I went there and tried to find how ukufutauka means nothing. It doesn't show anywhere. So AI cannot generate certain words. Our local language words cannot be generated by AI.
So I don't think you can hear me now. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you can go in, Mr. Gilbert, you can go in.
Okay. Yeah, I very much agree with Mr. Kazia because, there is that other video where Mr. Chabinga is on the plane. Somebody was saying, using a bad word.
But when was that video taken? That's one thing we need to understand.
Yeah, but here definitely we are UPND. We can't sugarcoat this to say no, maybe it happened, maybe no. It actually happened, So the only thing here we have to look at, how do we do the damage control here? Number one, they are calling for Chabinga to be arrested. This puts the president in a very bad and difficult situation because how can he arrest him? Because Chabinga is not going to go in quietly in jail. He will say, no, I was sent. Who sent you? He's going to reveal. That's why the president cannot make a move on this, to say, okay, let's go. Let's take Chabinga, Because here is, we were caught, pants down. I don't know how this can actually be sorted out. It's a very, very difficult situation that we find ourselves in. Yeah. I end here.
through the chair.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so there are so many things that are being thrown here that we really have to understand. First and foremost, I think what Bakazila said is just a lot of falsehoods. He's very certain that the president was involved. He's also very certain that the Director General was involved. In the audio that Chabinga allegedly recorded, he never says the president calls me to do this, to go and bribe the judges in South Africa. There's no such a thing in there. Another point is he never discloses what the Director General was calling him for. Another point is, Vakazila said in Parliament, our honor the Vice President stood up and said it was just a suggestion. I think this is dangerous. You need to listen to what the Vice President said. She said she was answering a question to say, you are answering a question that was posed by an MP. She said, you are alleging that the government was involved. But according to the audio that I also spoke, now this is the Vice President, Chawinga says those judges need to eat. That statement means it is a suggestion. You were saying these judges need to eat. Not that the president told him the judges need to eat, you need to bribe them. So let us be very careful. Let us be very, very careful not to throw things that are not there. It's very important that we understand these things. They want to put a lot of politics around this thing. Of course, if the video is real, we need to find out. I would love to hear from Mr. Chawinga. Another point that I wanted to talk about is when we're dealing with AI, can AI use the same words that I'm saying right now, speaking as Francis, the way I'm constructing them, but use maybe Bachanda's voice to utter those words? That's the question we should ask. So this thing of saying AI cannot phrase this thing to that, well, let's ask that. Can I use my language and the way I phrase my sentences, use somebody else's voice to come up like he's the one who's saying it? That's the question we should ask. Also, if that is true, then even my Bemba can be maybe Emmanuel Mwamba's voice. The way I'm speaking, I can come out as Emmanuel Mwamba. So all these things, there are a lot of things here at play. Let's not rush to assume the government was involved. And moreover, Bakazira, Chawinga is your leader. So how can you say we're in trouble? How can we be in trouble? He's your leader. He's a PF president. So don't give him to us. He's yours. And the fact that he never, in that audio, unless you heard him say, the president called me and he said, go and do this. Don't say we are involved. So be very careful the statements you make.
First of all, you should be the one to be very, very careful the way you want to manipulate things. And
I'm not manipulating anything.
No. You are manipulating what I didn't say. I said I will be say if the president deals with Chabinga, then he is not involved, in my opinion.
I agree with you.
Can you listen? So do not manipulate. And then number two, on AI.
No. I won't let you go out. What did I manipulate? Can you state what I manipulated?
Either way, you manipulated that I said that the president said go to South Africa.
No, you are saying the president sent him, and you said the Director General is involved. Tell us how he's involved.
Do not be selective in what you want to hear. Do not manipulate what he's saying. Listen to the video. It starts with a call. And that call, hello, Murishani, tulefutauka. If I'm not trying to AI, itakuwa AI, ingalanda ulefutauka. Even if you used my voice or you used any person's voice, there is no a word called ukufutauka. AI cannot use that word.
You said the president is involved and the Director General is involved. Can you show us in the audio where they are involved?
Why are you saying it's not me? It's Chabinga saying. Why are you saying?
No, you said. Chabinga didn't mention anything. Chabinga said he had missed calls. So why are you assuming that they spoke?
He said.
What if Chabinga is sponsored by PF?
Exactly.
It could be that it's a setup.
No amount of manipulation will work on this one. You are not going to twist it. You are not.
No.
You want also.
It is also possible that you could have been sent by PF.
Exactly.
Which
Why
one?
would you assume the president was
Chabinga.
involved and the director general?
Why
Chabinga
was-
doesn't mention that. Are you basing it on the missed calls?
Chabinga mentioned having to have received the 12 missed calls from the president.
Did
Yeah,
he say,
I mean,
okay, those are missed calls?
if it's a makeup, he can
Missed
also
calls,
say that
and Chabinga also mentions that he called the president. Who told him to call Friday Nyambe?
Did
What
he
are you
speak
talking
with the
about?
president? According
Eh?
to him, did he speak with the president?
Yes, he did. At 04, and then he called Friday
Did he
Nyambe.
speak with the
Well,
president?
he has-
You are
he has to-
assuming.
he has to produce evidence that he
Look at
Yeah,
called.
he has to
Don't
produce
think like it
evidence.
should be right for you to make assumptions, and then me, I shouldn't make assumptions. Right
I'm not
now,
making
you have
any
made an
assumptions.
assumption
You are
which
making
you don't have.
assumptions.
No, let me tell you the assumption you've made. You've made an assumption that the president is not involved. You have made your assumption, and me, I've
Until
made the
there's
assumption.
evidence.
Listen,
Are you not innocent until proven guilty in the court of law? Are you not innocent until proven guilty?
if this is going to be the conversation that we're going to be speaking over each other, then I don't know where we are heading to. Because
Okay.
if you want to speak, someone must speak, finish, then someone comes in. No,
Okay,
it's not this
let's
level
have
of interjection.
yeah, no. Let's have order. Let's have order. Okay.
Because you
Let's
see, when people start to interject,
let's have a civil conversation. I think on that one we're not going to agree. It's clear we're not going to agree on that one because there's so many facets and there's so many layers to this one, and we need to put a lid on it and come back when we get more information.
I think that is better, Wachanda, where we say
Okay,
when you
correct.
get more information,
Yeah,
you come
yeah,
back
because,
when you have heard what Chabinga is saying, what the president is saying. Because for
Yeah,
me, I
stop
want
saying the
statements from
president is
Chabinga
involved.
and the president.
You have evidence.
So
I
for
have evidence
now,
from Chabinga. What evidence do you want me to have?
okay,
Chabinga never mentioned what they said with the president. So why
Chabinga
are you
mentioned
assuming?
you
No,
go and listen
Vakombe, okay,
again,
Vakombe.
Vakombe. You see, you cannot be manipulative like this, guys. This is not
No,
helping our country.
no.
Manipulative.
Vakazia, calm down, Vakazia, calm down. Okay, we're not going to progress if we start, going back and forth between just two people. There's so many people here, and let's respect each other's opinions. And at this point, I think we've all spoken on this issue, and we can come and revisit it as the story unfolds. How about that? So, secondly, let's talk about my KBF. I saw a very interesting.
Okay, as finally, I did not complete my thought, but anyway, I will respect you as the host to move
We'll
on.
we'll
But
come
I'm
back.
telling you, I want to hear what Chabinga will be taken to task, and I want to hear what the president will say on this.
Correct. Now you're using
like
the right
everybody.
words.
No, that
Temuntu wezuli president wenu kai.
President
Deal with him.
mwalisala wisalo getu wenu na state protocol la kwa mpelende la mashakwendera nani teimwevo
Okay. What I'm saying is this. Mwe bantu bakolesa moneni. Lekeni tuchite progress. Ili ashitete pwe. Okay. Ba KBF 10 tulande pale ba KBF. What I did is I watched a very interesting interview. I think he was with Shosta. He claimed a lot of things, and he said a lot of things, and he seemed to be very like an angry. And that's how I've been looking at KBF since HH came into power. He seemed to be very, very, very upset. I don't know if there was something that he was expecting from HH that didn't happen. That's why he's this bitter. But he seems to be like a bitter man. The way he's coming out, and and me, if I'm a Zambian citizen, I want to maybe give an alternative from HH. I want to listen to a leader. I want to listen to a leader that's going to be sober-minded and talking about facts and issues. Not you want to sontaba nankwaka kumo. Nokulanda, very, words that are not befit for a president. I'll be like, but then you feel shy and you shy away to say, I don't think so. Gentlemen, Maybe we can start with the. Oh, yeah, but Danny, you just joined. But Danny, how are you? Mr. Danny, how are you? Hello, Mr. Danny. Are you there now? Are you ready to
No,
talk?
I'm about to come out. I'm about to arrive home now, so that's fine. Give
Okay,
me
okay,
5, 10
that's okay.
minutes.
No, that's fine. That's fine. So, Mr. Gilbert.
Yeah. Yes. It also baffles me when I look at KBF's behavior. You know, he's an angry man. You know, he has this thing because you remember the UPND alliance. You know, KBF expected more than what he got from there. You know, especially that he was not appointed for any position, and that angered him a lot. So even when he's talking like that, just wait. You know, he's with this Tulsa alliance. It won't be long before KBF is going to leave that alliance. That is a man who is like a political prostitute, you know, for lack of a better word. He he has this like personal vendetta, you know. You can't be telling the president to say, "Iwe wo iwe, ukamona." You know, no, that's very disrespectful. Even if somebody is of your age, but you know, when you are addressing him as a president, you don't say that. That's an insult, you know. I wasn't happy when I watched that video. You know, I think that's my take there. That man, he cannot rule the country. No, he cannot.
Yeah, I think so. I think so too. If you had to ask me, it's kind of weird, because I was listening to him and I watched that interview. But let me bring in Bakombe. I know you've got a lot to say on this one. By KBF, what do you think about his statements? That interview, you watched it, isn't it?
I sure did.
Mm.
I think I was very disappointed. I think KBF is a learned man, but the way he conducts himself really betrays what we think about him. It's very unfortunate. I think this is now my opinion. I think he really presents himself as a know-it-all, the sharpest tool in the room. And I'll back this with these examples. For example, when he started talking about ECL, when he was in the alliance with the UPND, he talked of a story where he said he was the one, with other people, of course, who helped ECL win the nomination. He said, we crafted all this, we went to ECL, we challenged the illegal convention. I made him president, he said. Throughout ECL's tenure, never respected ECL, called him names. Same thing happens. UPND comes in, HH wins the presidency. He comes out and says, I helped HH become president. It's evident, but Gilbert has put it very clearly and very nicely. This man expected a lot when he joined the group that was formed with other parties. To me, I don't know, I could be wrong. I don't know if they found something in his files. Excuse me. That's why it wasn't the appointment, but he didn't like it. From that time on, when it was left out, ministers were announced and he wasn't given a position. I think he took it very personal. You can see it. It's evident in the way he addresses the president. This is a man that shows that he has no respect. An uncultured, educated person. Education alone doesn't mean you're intelligent. To me, he shows that he's not intelligent. He might be educated. I say this because it's troubling the way if you can address the president like that, the president of the Republic of Zambia, it doesn't matter if you were in the same intake at school, you knew him personally. When you address somebody like the president or leader of a company, you address them according to the title that they have. So it only shows that he's a bitter man whom I just read somewhere 2 days ago that he was attacking by Kelvin Lubinda, who is the acting president of PF, and Balubinda has just responded. So he has already started a conflict also within Tonse. Remember when ECO died, somebody leaked something to say ECO had anointed him to become leader of Tonse. So I'm just actually I ordered 4 bags of popcorns. I want to watch this the day ECO is put to rest. I want to see what's going to happen in the PF. I want to predict that there will be commotion, and KBF will be one of those guys bringing the turmoil. So he's a very he comes out as a very low person without respect. So a very educated person, but not intelligent, according to me.
Maybe I think the commotion has already started, because I mean the Tonse Alliance disowned him to say he doesn't belong to the Tonse Alliance group. They just disowned him a few days ago. So the commotion has started already. So bringing to Bakazia, I think maybe you've got some insight. What do you think about the whole KBF thing?
We have been setting a narrative in Zambia in terms of how we discuss politics. Our politics in Zambia is categorized by demeaning language. You see? So what KBF is doing is exactly what has been happening in Zambia. And me, I have examples here on this forum where a UPND guy calls, and is still trending online. He calls the dead president frozen fish. Nobody has stood up and said this kind of behavior we don't like.
Hold on, Bakazia. Huh? On this platform?
No. Not on this platform. I mean, UPN, it's on social media, not on this. On this platform, I know we cannot tolerate that. But the point is that it's online. The same way we are referring to KBF. That guy is even trending even now. Frozen fish. These are senior UPND people that have called that. And you see, then how do you expect people to retaliate and respect the head of state? It is what is coming also from you guys that are leading. The language, your language towards your opponents is so bad. Just look at what Makombe is saying to KBF. He's very dull. He doesn't look intelligent.
I didn't say he was dull. Just say the truth. Say the truth. I didn't say he was dull.
You said he's not intelligent.
Yes, that doesn't mean he's dull.
In my interpretation, that's what your opinion.
And you're wrong. Don't interpret it like that. I just said he's educated but not intelligent.
Listen, Makombe, you are not going to tell me how I interpret it. When you are saying
you are wrong, don't assume. Did I say that?
You said he's not intelligent.
Okay. Yeah, so did I say he was dull?
Okay. I think the issue here is.
Let me finish.
But let me say something. Bakazila, stick to the question when you're asked. You like bloviating a lot. You should stop. You should stop. Another thing that you said, Bachanda, just 1 minute, Bachanda, just 1 minute. Bakazila said a senior UPND member said, Akatumbi. You're online now. Can you mention that senior UPND person?
He's there on trending. I was just saying
mention the person.
Bakombe.
Okay.
This man don't use such words.
This is what I didn't want. Now, this is what I didn't want, guys. Okay. No. Here's let's have order. Okay. Listen. Let's have order. Okay. Let's not make it into a a missing match. No, let's not do that. Right. Okay, Vakazia, the question was,
Thank you.
KBF, what he was saying. That's what he was saying. Like he was
The
online
thing
sounding
his
bitter.
press conference.
Yes,
thought you were
he sounded a little bit bitter. He was directly pointing at HH, at Voi,
exactly.
amatako now we got pachipuna ukafunyepo amatako ukatwale kumbi. You know those kind of languages.
Even you see, if unachela mweba njibiri, echo ndem ta correct imwe. But you see, imwe bende studied. You must be very careful with the language that you use towards the citizens and what you tell them. If you amatako kwikala amatako yabiri pachipuna, ni bana barandi. Teva president barandi. How should we allow our president to use such language?
Did you word it like that? Did you word it like that?
Amatako yabiri ninji kala pachipuna.
Babdala,
Okay. Wakombe, let him finish.
I just don't like it when he's lying. He's always lying. 90% of the time he's lying.
Let him finish, because it's going to be a pissing match between the two of you. We don't want that here.
But I think the moderator should be paying attention and asking us when we say things. So if he says that, challenge him to say who said it.
Okay, no problem. Let him finish.
I will
finish, and then you can cut me.
Talking about it, I will post the video where he is coming out of the mouth. Not that Nyambo paraphrase. No, the president said, "Nakala matako yo vilo pans pachipuna ninjikala." But president bad than delay. President, don't use this language. It's not right. Video not that you I'm a videos, they are there online. So what I'm talking about are things that are online, the things that are coming out of what people have said. And me, I'm saying ngata to change the way we discuss to each other, the language that we use towards each other as citizens. It will translate into the disrespect of the presidency to allow each piece of presidency. Because the president ngabatukana to fear that abakateka tabatukana mwilala bonfia ma words ayamure bonfia, because these words are bad. Nabe nabakateka bafire baumfwa no mbanga bakateka balande chilubene, then we jump on and say no, we start to rationalize.
So you're saying KPF was right, and the language was okay. That's what you're saying.
No, that is what
you are justifying saying. Why he was using those words.
You are the one saying that, Bakumbe. You are the one saying it.
No, you say it. You say it. The question is that the statement about KPF. What do you think, Makazila? Don't go around. Just say he was justified that he is right.
When you are talking, I was not interjecting you. To start telling you what you should say.
Okay. Let's go to Mr. Variki. Let's go to other statement.
We need to do with this matter whether Bakombenga balela definitely karazi.
No.
Please hear me out. You must wait for me to finish. Then you jump in and you correct me whatever you want. Not when I'm talking. It's just you are creating chaos. When you are talking, I'm not interjecting you. Why are you interjecting?
We're not lying. That's the reason why you cannot make a follow-up and challenge.
Okay.
But you start from the example, you're lying.
Let's have a decent conversation.
Keep quiet. Even if you have a right to correct me after I finish talking. That is the civil discourse that people are looking for. Not that you know pocket. Why are you doing that? And that is not just right, Bakum. That's not just right. If I say something that is not true, you can correct me when your time to speak comes, but not to interject.
I hear you. And I apologize if I was interjecting you.
All right, so let's move ahead. Let's be a little bit professional, guys. It cannot be a pissing match. We all have different views and different opinions. Let's respect each other's opinion and move ahead as progress and discuss more important issues. So I don't know if Mr. Ricky is there or if he's just listening. Are you there, Mr. Ricky? He's probably just listening. So
through the chair, can I ask a question, just a suggestion, moderator? We will not interject, but what I'm asking is, as we have this discussion, if somebody brings up something that needs to be explained, just throwing things in the air. I think you should challenge that person, be it
Yeah,
me or Bakazilo or anybody else. Ask them to explain, because this thing
yeah.
of going around and just saying things for the sake of saying that's not a debate. You know
No,
that you
yeah,
are lying, but you just want to say it because you have the 2 minutes to explain. I think it's wrong.
no, yeah. That's we always allow that, but we have to give somebody to finish their point, and once they finish their point, then you can come in and not during while somebody is speaking. Then you come in and interject. Then we're not going to have a healthy conversation. So we need to.
I think I'm
Somebody.
doing that because you are not challenging us. You're not
No,
asking us.
no.
Like
You can challenge.
he said a lot of things that are not true, and you are not questioning him. The
No,
last time,
no.
again, he said the president is guilty, but you didn't challenge him to say, you didn't challenge him. So the small time that I have to come in and challenge him.
Okay, so what it is like when you see something or you hear something that's not like me. What I do is I write them down, and then I go back, and then when the time comes, then I come and attack now and say this you said this you said this. You see what I'm saying? So, but let's have a flow in the conversation so that we don't disturb other people that are listening, other people that want to participate, because it's not just 2 people or 3 people, the other people that want to contribute as well, and we need to move the program now. The land issue that is there now. There's Bill 13, and this is an issue that actually um, Mr. Gilbert wanted to discuss on. Hopefully he's back. Yeah. So okay. So Mr. Gilbert, you wanted to discuss on the land issue. Can you just give us why you really wanted to discuss on this? Why particularly this one? Mr. Gilbert, are you there? Okay. But Danny, welcome.
Hola.
¿Cómo estás?
Hola, everybody. Hola.
¿Cómo estás?
Buenas tardes.
Buenas tardes. Buenas tardes.
The land. We are on the land stuff, changes.
That's the topic we're going in. But we've discussed. Obviously, you've been listening in.
I was listening in. The Chawinga guy and all this type of thing. Anyway, I'll just make one comment about Chawinga and then I move on to the land one.
Okay.
I think that Chawinga was just trying to be bossy to that minister, that he has contacts with State House, he talks to the president and all that type of thing. So I don't think there's any substance. Chawinga going to South Africa. He doesn't even know Pretoria. He gets lost in Pretoria. How can he go there and start organizing all that thing he was talking about? So that's just a bluffing, just trying to tell that woman that I have direct contact with the president, he talks to me and all that type of thing. It's just bossy type. Otherwise, there's no substance in it. Regarding AI, there's someone who was saying, can I use my words and then use somebody's voice? Yes, 101% AI is capable of doing that. So my students, they are able to make a project. Right now, AI is incorporated in the curriculum, okay? You can actually write a script and choose, you can talk on your own, all right? Record everything.
Mr. Danny, I'm muted.
I think it's a reception.
Oh. I think maybe he's got some visitors or something like that. Yeah. Okay. So in any case, this land bill, it's a huge topic. I think it touches a lot of people, a lot of families, and so many people will want a clarification on it. And I think personally, it shouldn't be rushed because land is wealth, and wealth is land. And looking at the way Zambia is moving now, and the trajectory that we're moving, it's looking like there's so many prime areas or prime land that you'll be sitting on that has minerals underneath. So those are the issues that we need to start really thinking about, because I'm seeing that. I'm seeing because of the minerals being discovered, and because of the surveillance system that's in place right now, data is now coming to say, "Famu ira bakombe bakwata ija, punch pali bagodi." And then how can we, between an individual, okay, we know that, okay, it says that the land is yours, but underneath it belongs to the government. But how are you going to be compensated if something like that happened? So all those things, I think, need to be put in the new bill or new act, so that certain things like that are tackled. And we've known, like, there's been a lot of corruption where people have been selling the same piece of land to 10, 15 people. So I think let's tackle that first before we go into this one. I don't know what everybody else is thinking on this one, but I think there's just been so much corruption in the Ministry of Lands for years, and it's just not in the UPND government. It's been happening for several years. Okay. So, Mr. Gilbert, are you there? You are the one who really wanted to emphasize on this one. Are you there, Mr. Gilbert? Oh, yeah, run away because of. Anyway, Mr. Kombe.
Yes.
Yeah, land.
Thank you so much. I think the land issue is problematic. The clauses that I listened to, I didn't like them. I'll give an example for those that have seen the presentation by Council Dixon Jerry. I think he was right on point. I agree with him. I'm troubled when this where it says if you have land and somebody challenges that their land also belongs to them and not you, the ministry itself, Ministry of Lands, can actually put a hold, and can even put a hold and or cancel the deed. I find it very troubling because they are the same ministry that issue me the title deed, and they're being given power to come back and say, we made a mistake and we're canceling this. Let's assume they give me the deeds and I start farming. I've invested and I've put maybe $5 million on a land. And then the same ministry, because the headman challenges, the guy who sold me, sees the development and now challenges to say, this is my land, can go to ministry and they can cancel that deed. The same people that issued the deed. That's very troubling. We're allowing them to make mistakes. I'll give a very practical example. Here in the US, there are numbers that are called Social Security number that any person is accorded. Every person that's legal is accorded. There is no situation where you can have two people have the same Social Security number. It's impossible. Why? Because when they generate that, the computer will tell them this number, combination of numbers, has already been issued. So there's no way the computer will generate a Social Security number that has already been generated. This should also be the case in Zambia, because when that deed is given, there are certain stages we go through. First and foremost, the chief qualifies the land. Say if somebody, the headman is selling if somebody from the village is selling me that land, the headman should acknowledge to say this land belongs to Kafula, the one who's selling it to Francis. When that document is taken to the chief, there is a place where the headman signs to say this land has no conflict. There is no conflict. It's Kafula's land. He's selling it to Francis. So the headman will sign, and the chief also will sign, because before those papers go to the council. The council comes on the ground again to verify that the land is yours. Takes it to lands where, when it goes according to the coordinates, Ministry of Lands now checks to see if there's a title in those coordinates, if there's somebody who has a title that's binding. So if nobody has a title in that land that I'm presenting, lands comes there and they qualify the deed. So why again should the time come when somebody just challenges me, and now the same people who issued that title can cancel it? I find it troubling, and it will encourage a lot of corruption. And another point that Council Jerry put was, we borrow using deeds in Zambia most of the time. What do you have? I'm trying to borrow 100 million, and they say, hey, what do you have? If I bring those title deeds for the land, and imagine the bank thinks, okay, these deeds can be challenged by anybody else and they can be overturned. Do you think the bank will give me that 100 million? They might, but the interest will be very high to compensate for the risk. So I think this is a bad provision in the Land Act, whatever they are presenting, very, very bad. And I think they need to withdraw it. They need a lot of consultation. I think it's very dangerous. We shouldn't play with people like that. That's my submission.
Okay. Fantastic submission. Vakavia.
I wish now to agree with Wakombe.
Okay, go ahead.
The submission Wakombe has given is, I think, the correct one, because the dimension he has brought, which I don't even think, I don't know if he Council Jerry brought it out, but I think he put it in probably in the best way of saying you muntu na ya Kongola. Then official title, something like that happens, and also the same department gives you. Why? How did they give you the same? And then later on, so corruption and everything else really will be a problem. And you know, it can also turn political, because they can go to Asongela abantu, and then get your land and subdivide it the way Council Jerry was saying. And by the time a person who has invested maybe millions or billions, by the time let's win the case, people have already built things which becomes almost impossible to actually deal with. So I think also to avoid also politicization of this act going forward would be a problem. Look at what happened to Kuriba and the car theft. You know, the moment that he lost, they picked him up and used the same law. So this law can also mean that in case UPND leaves office, what happens? People will just say, oh, how do we fix that one? Mupokeni land. And it can really be a problem. So I think the way Bakombe has put it, I agree with that. And I think we shouldn't play around with that. They need for more consultation, and probably got a party problem to resolve. Let's not fix what is not broken. Maybe we can fix it around the foreigners owning land and what the amount of land they can own. Those are some of the things that we can look out for, and then give Zambians more access to land, and also maybe tighten a few things around selling land to foreigners. Those are some of the things we can really tighten. Ngachakaba tuishisha fwebene. Inende ishisha Bakombe 100 hectares kandi. Bakombe shouldn't have a problem really getting that land. But if I want to sell to a Chinese investor, it should really be scrutinized with all the financials, impact assessment, and everything else done. Then we can go to move into that direction. But I think I agree with everything he has said.
Okay, that's good. That's good. But Gilbert, Mr. Gilbert is not there. Mr. Mwanza, Mr. Ricky. Looks like everybody's just listening. Okay, so this land issue, like with like I was saying, like it's it's a big issue that should not be rushed by the current government, for our UPND government. Um, as much as we would want to, maybe, I'm just saying maybe. I'm not saying this is the position of the UPND government, but just my opinion personally. If we want to,
Inata mpere chance.
nimwe banani mwe?
Nebo kuno badani kabisa. Mpere chance
Badani,
ya kulanda.
okay, badani landeni kabili. Twachinaipusha imwakae
Ah,
mwachiruba.
tamwachinji pusha ino.
Oh,
Nomba.
Mr. Dani, kupo toriko na kuwama sana. Chilafu afye ku background. Abakashana balelanda. Awe, let contribute.
The land, name me, I'll just be straightforward.
Eh.
There's nothing that's broken that needs to be fixed right now.
Mhm.
Okay. My thinking is that this is a targeted bill, whatever, someone is being targeted here. This is a political move, 100%. There's no justice in bringing up this type of thing. Somebody's being targeted. They want to get land from somebody or some group of people. That's it. It's that simple. Let's not beat about the bush. This law is targeting a certain group of people. That's it. There's no thing as getting something efficient or what. It doesn't make any sense at all what they want to do. To give the registrar powers to just wake up in the morning and say, okay, I suspect this land was taken under fraudulent. They're using the word fraudulent. Same thing like economic thing. They're saying fraudulently obtained, fraudulently obtained. Same language, they want to use it now on land. So I think this is not good for our politics in Zambia. Our politicians, current politicians, my government is targeting certain people for this law.
Mhm.
Plain and simple. That's all. We can't beat about the bush here. Please, let's stop this type of politics. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Uh, you know, um, I think he's given his 2 cents, and I think that's what most Zambians are feeling right now. I think there's no need for this bill to be passed, or there isn't an emergency. But like I was saying, I think we need first of all to look at what the real picture is, or what the real problem is. The problem is the corruption in the lands department. There's been so much corruption for years and years and years. People would
And
acquire,
this will make it worse.
yeah. So for us, I think for the current government, for us, let's target on what the real issue is. Let's fix that. Let's make sure that people cannot be able to manipulate. Like, for instance, if I'm given a title deed for a piece of land, there's no way because I've not developed that land, there's no way you can go and say, oh, because that land is bare, nobody has it there. Then, without my consent or without notification from the land department, because they obviously give you a specific period of time. There's always that period that they give you to develop a land. Now, let's say within, or even if it's gone beyond that, I'm outside that. At least there should be that notification to say, oh, you have not developed your land. Are you still interested in the land, or we can repossess it? And then it can be, they can rebuy it because you bought that land, or they can repossess it. I don't know exactly how it says it, but I know for a fact they give a specific period of time. There, somebody will say, you know what? I think at this point I don't have any money. Then you sign to say, no, For example, I won't be able to, to build anything on this land. I'm no longer interested in this land. Then you sign back the title to lands, and then they can resell it now. Other than them, while you're still holding that title, they resell it to another prospective individual. That's wrong. I think that's wrong. And I think that's where the problem is. And that's where we need to fix certain things like that, so that we don't have all these duplicate title owners and confusion and people going to court for one same piece of land. You have 5 people, they say, we're the owners. Who is the owner? Who was the first person who was given the first title? What did he do? What did the council, what lands, what did they do? Did they go to him to say, are you selling your land? Did you sell it? If he sold it, did he provide all that data, which the registrar actually his job to come and keep in his records to say, oh, you sold your land here on this day, 19 Pendefikondo, you sold it back to us, or you sold it to this individual, and we resold it to this individual. There's a track record. And let's make everything computerized nowadays. Like if you have a paper, papers get destroyed. We're living in the 21st century for crying out loud. Why don't you just computerize everything to make everything easy? Yeah, I rest my case.
Just on addition, Chanda, another situation can be, imagine if I ran a program, I have 100 million on a farm, I'm doing dairy, poultry, and you challenge that land to say you're also the rightful owner. So my question can be directed to the people who are peddling this thing. What happens then if there's a hold on the land, right? Because if there's a hold on the land, it means maybe they might even say no production should be going on this land, because we have to, just make sure who the rightful owner of the land is. So in that waiting period, it means I'm not doing any production because the court still has the case, right? Looking at the backlog of cases that we have today in our courts, it's unbelievable. Now imagine if most of the land receives challenges and all these cases now are in the courts. Okay, what is the wait period? What do you do then on that property? Are you able to be allowed to do your business? If it's real estate, if it's farming, do you continue? Does the economy go to a standstill because everything is in court? So to me, it's just a total confusion that they are trying to bring. I would love to see somebody who's peddling this come and explain the advantages of changing this or adding this. It's unbelievable. Some of these things should never even pass the debate stage. So I haven't heard any advantage of why they want to do this, but I think this can be bad law and can just be like, I think it was Bariki who said, this can also turn political. And what happens if you start challenging now land that has been owned by people for the last 30 years because you don't like them, you don't like what they've said. Now you start challenging, you put a halt to production. This is confusion. And I think I love my administration, I love my party. This is something that they should squash immediately. This is a no-brainer. Take it out. It's whoever decided that, in my opinion, I think didn't think it through.
Thank you very much. I think you're right on that one. I think this land issue we'll probably have to discuss it again because there's so many facets to it and there's so many missing information. We haven't heard much from the Minister of Lands. He hasn't spoken on this one, unless I'm behind. But as far as I know, I've not heard anything from the Minister of Lands on this particular issue. And if there's anything that they have or information that they need to share, they need to come up real quickly because information now is on the fingertips. I mean, you don't have to wait 100 years just to get information. You should know that, oh, this is a burning topic. And if I was the Minister of Lands, I should be on a line right now and explaining to the Zambian people why it's being, pushed ahead, or why it's been the initiative is being, proposed to bring it forward, other than just keeping quiet. That's a very sad thing to happen in the Ministry of Lands, because we need to show leadership. But anyway, in any case,
So politics.
it's all politics.
They are targeting Danny this one, so.
They want to take Daddy Rosarizo's farm.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
There's no explanation for this. This doesn't make sense.
They want to take, but what if they take Danny Rosarizo's farm? Then what?
They want to take my land. Imagine.
And then what?
But to be honest, there's nothing that's broken right now. Everything is working okay. The judges are making decisions. They are hearing stories from both parties or all the parties before they make judgment. Now they want this one officer to be making judgments before the courts. The registrar will be making decisions right there and then. Boom, that's your land. Go.
That one is.
It doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't make sense.
And this is overreaching, because they're transferring now the responsibility on who qualifies from if the judges are handling those cases, from the judiciary now to the executive, an appointee of the party who says, we don't like this person, this is not your land.
Yeah.
To me, then why should we even have separation of power?
And to me, I don't
We
like
need it
the way
for checks and balances.
fraudulently obtained, because that language we have heard it before.
Correct.
That is a very political language we have heard before. So when the bill is having that fraudulently obtained, I don't like it. It means it's going same way through whatever the so-called targeted people around. Oh, you did this fraudulent. You did it fraudulently. That's not right in my view.
But by the way,
how do they overrule the headman and the chief? Because the headman and the chief, they are custodians of that land. They know more about the land than the government. So you're overruling. The headman signed to say, this is a legit transaction. The chief signed, and the council did their work. Now, when it comes to the political guys, they can overrule that. Come on now.
Okay, so my question is this. I want to find out. That job of signing, is it the commissioner's job? It's the commissioner's job, right? Because the Minister of Lands is the commissioner. Isn't it the same person that's supposed to be doing that job, that they want to transfer that responsibility to a registrar who is a junior officer?
I should think so.
Because a registrar is a clerk.
But Azira was in lands. What is your take on that? You are the PEMSEC lands.
How Wakombe was Kuleba?
No,
Sorry, yeah. I apologize.
But Gilbert is the one actually that he knows the law. But the other is not coming on.
I served under the PS who was the Commissioner of Lands before, and then he was brought to Ministry of Labor as PS, Rabanabi.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I think you can't. Land is too. They are playing too simplistic process of cancelling that. I can give you an example of in a labor relations sector. If there is a dispute between the employer, for instance, I'll give an example of one case that I dealt with, Unzalaru. The university management said, we are going to terminate the recognition agreement because you have violated clause 2 point something, which talks about how you are going to go on strike. And it's very clearly signed there. So they come up and say, we are going to terminate. But the law has been crafted such that they have to apply for a hearing, and that hearing must be heard, and then a determination made, and that determination is even also provided to challenge in court if you say we are cancelling. So it is difficult to just wake up and do things like that. But I think they were too simplistic in the way they wanted to deal with the issue of commission of cancelling these land titles. I think it wouldn't work. Like what Danny has said, like maybe it was a target for kind of some scores, like, okay, let's deal with this land. Maybe there's minerals, and then they're having difficulty in terms of accessing that. So it kind of creates a little bit of a problem around it. So let's quickly run and finish up that. But I think government will do better not to proceed with it, because it might be a decision they will live to regret.
I agree. And I think the able leadership of the president, knowing the president and just the way he sees things, I think this wasn't properly vetted. I want to believe that in the coming week, that provision will be withdrawn. If I know the president very well, I think he will hear the outcry of the people, and it's making sense.
Do you know why I'm laughing? Huh? When you hear the word, I think what Dan will say, when you hear the word able leadership.
Able leadership. Okay.
Anyway,
okay. So, ngama fake report bade. Ire mwenga shan fake report. Has anybody
fake report iwe mbani? Fake report yenu cha iwe me fake report.
I've lost confidence in these reports because they don't go further.
Yeah,
I think they just act like breaking news to excite us. We don't see any follow-up. Even the journalists don't report on the last reports. These are the companies that were found wanting, or the people found wanting. This is the action that was taken. There is no follow-up. I think this report, I don't take it serious because it just comes in as a hype thing to hype us. Oh, we found this amount. Give us details. Who's responsible? What have you done? So I don't take it serious. I think for years I haven't, because there are no follow-ups or details. It's just figures.
all right. Okay, fantastic.
I have issues. Because you see, not taking it serious, but it is telling us who is stealing. And this one I take on you guys, you UPND guys, I take you on this. Because these are the things that the president during campaign was talking about. That look at the fake reports. There are people that have been mentioned, there's no action taken by PF. Only when they said, when President Isseo said, oh, these things in Fiti, that was a very big headline for you guys. You nailed us on it. Yeah, we can't say Fiti. People are stealing. You will see a difference when fake report is done. Now, fake report comes in, and then we see an escalation over 100% of these illicit money is going away and things like that. But you see, I think this call is on the president. It's not on anyone else. Can he whip some people, please? Some ministers need to be whipped on this. Which ministers? They are mentioned. SEC mentions that we are investigating some ministers. All of a sudden, the whole thing goes quiet. You have ministers that are procuring now a chicken at 106,000. I don't know how true that is. So there are things that as government must deep into this big report and deal with the culprits. I think we cannot just let it go away. These are the things that are making our people suffer. These illicit deals.
Bakazira, I just want to defend the administration on this one.
Okay.
I'll begin with the last point that you gave, the last example of buying a chicken for 100,000. I agree, but they were fundraising. Munia Zulu bought Akasote Kavalungu for how much? There were people who were buying paintings for how much?
It doesn't make it right.
Let me just finish my point. And when it comes to, when you make a call to say ministers should be put in jail or they should be prosecuted, for what? Being mentioned doesn't mean you're guilty. If there's no there, if they're guilty, then they have to be prosecuted. So you cannot just assume that ministers are stealing or looting without any evidence. And when it comes to prosecutions, you cannot compare the HH administration to the ECL administration. How many people were brought forth and prosecuted openly? Now, if you coming to the UPND, how many people have lost property? How many people have gone to jail? Just the other day, the director of Zampost or whatever it is just came out of jail. He did his 2 years. Did you see that happen during the ECL? So we have taken it a notch. At least big people are paying the price. Bowman, all those people, they're in jail. So we are an improvement. Can we improve more? Yes. So I think we should give the president credit on that one. Just the repossessing of stolen property. We've done a lot. Our problem, I think, as a party, as a UPND, is we don't report on these things. These things are taken from people, and there are no stories to report, to show. So we haven't done much there when it comes to putting the light on some of these crimes. But I think I give the president a higher grade than ECL. So when it comes to prosecution, you cannot even compare ECL to.
Maybe if now it's a question of comparison,
okay,
I can raise some comparisons now. I can raise serious comparisons right here, right now. Because if you go to the F.I.C report during ECL, how much money was reported as having been gone in illicit deals? It was almost like $3 billion. What is the figure now? If you look at gold turning into copper overnight, no one is investigating that. If you're going to look at the Zafico, the procurement of 180 million whatever dollars worth of posts by a Zimbabwean company, when Zafico could do that, that matter was reported, nobody investigated it. If you go the drugs scandal, who has been prosecuted? No one. If you are going to go to fertilizer and you see everything that is being procured is single sourcing, there is no open floating of tenders that you can be seeing. These are things that you said. Nobody ever even told you to say it. No. You said for the purposes of streamlining the procurement process at the right place, right time, delivered and everything. This is what we are going to do. You are not held accountable for the mistakes of PF. You are held accountable for your own mistakes. You're non-fulfilling of the things that you're saying. So, I don't know which world you're talking about. Look at
all right,
1%.
Yeah, okay.
So, innocent. I'm saying investigate.
Okay.
You cannot just wake up and just go because not true. That is anarchy. Investigate.
Yes.
Give us a report and then prosecute.
We all agree with that. But Danny.
Hola,
¿Cómo estás?
So these F.I.C reports, I think they're just giving people an employment where they wake up in the morning, they go and sit in the office, write the reports, and then put them in the garbage later on. We've seen this as you guys have already mentioned. These reports have been coming over, and every year we get the same garbage type of stealing. People are stealing, but no head roll. This has been going on for years and years and years and years. So it's just a joke, really, even to have that report being published, because we've never, ever seen anyone being disciplined for that. If they do, they just transfer them to another ministry, or they send them abroad as a diplomat. So we're not serious as a people. I think so. We are not. Same as parliamentary that my famous parliamentary debates, what else? Committee debates, where they find this council can't account for 1 million kwacha. Back. Yeah. PAC gives us evidence every day. And nobody, those councils are the worst people that are stealing our money, people's money in this country. Every council steals a lot of money out of it, and nobody's disciplined. So and it's there on TV. The records are there. The council people saw the same thing as F.I.C. Me, I'm tired, and I look at it. I don't even read it. I think Zambians are tired of this type of thing. They tell us, oh, this amount of money is missing, this type of thing. Someone stole this, and then so what? What are you doing? Nothing. So why are you even giving us a report? Why? It's a job.
Yeah, I think they need to put more teeth into it.
There's nothing.
I think those are the kind of laws that need to be, revisited and talked about.
Yes,
those are the ones that people want, because when we go with those parliamentary proceedings and all that stuff, people, they even tell them that here where you are, you're protected, and you're not going to
tell us anything. Nobody will give you. Yeah, they tell them. Yeah.
And there's so many wrong things there that is being displayed, but nothing is going to be done. It's just displaying of wrong things. And I don't even know who even initiated that kind of act or law, and why we haven't been tackling it and talking about that instead of talking about this bill 13. I think we need to look into more serious aspects of that, something like that.
Now, moderator, I come in again. You see, these are the things that you guys said you will fix. If when you were in opposition, campaigning to come in government, these are things you said you cannot tolerate. Because if you done, if you're chin, hey, ababantu pale badiri. No, it's actually about dealing with my samubuteko. Chinchi. What has stopped you from, those values that you spoke about that you are going to implement? What has caused the problem?
Can I answer that? Can I answer that?
I want to, yes,
I'm glad that Bakazila, you posed that question. Here's my answer. We have shown that what we said we are doing. Earlier on, you mentioned people have gone scot-free. Nobody has been prosecuted. Nobody has gone to court from the Ministry of Health, Yamiti, and the Ministry of Finance. I want to break this news to you that our able president is on it. Right now, as we speak, directors have been fired from the Ministry of Finance, the Ministry of Health, and most of them are in court. Why are they in court? Because the president believes in the rule of law. You are innocent until proven guilty. All these directors and people who worked in these two ministries, finance and health, they're in court. You can get it if you want. Get the news. So for you to say the president is not doing anything and these scandals have mushroomed and nobody has been punished, I think is stretching it a little bit, because we know as we speak, these people have been let go and they're in court.
I'm going to give you a typical example. One example, which nothing has happened. Masebo was mentioned in the scandal.
Being mentioned doesn't mean you're guilty.
No, who investigated Masebo?
Which scandal, first of all? Which specific scandal?
Yeah, I'm a drugs 100 million.
Yeah, but she was investigated by the state.
Who investigated?
The president. No, they don't need to tell you who's investigating.
No. You say they are my servants. They need to tell me. They don't.
No. That's not the way it works.
No, that's how it works.
You don't need names to know what
if I pay you, Bakombe, you cannot tell me when I pay you. I shouldn't know.
The government investigated, and she wasn't found wanting.
But I pay the government. Why shouldn't I know? I pay the government. What are you talking about?
Do you believe in the law, Wakazil?
I believe in the law. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. So do you also believe that you are innocent until proven guilt? I can mention your name. I can mention your name right now. In a scandal, it doesn't mean you're guilty.
When you're investigating a public officer who is paid by money, if I'm being investigated for corruption, you have a right to know the extent of my corruption and what I've done and the report.
It's not always that you disclose, because you're wrong. Here's why. Sometimes when they're investigating, they don't disclose the methods, because that now can jeopardize the investigation itself. If they say
I think
an
you didn't hear
individual
what
is
I
being
said.
investigated, they don't talk about methods.
You did not hear what I said. I did not talk about the method that they should be telling me the method.
But
They
if we
should
tell you
tell me
who's
the
investigating, what do you want to know?
I want to know the outcomes of the investigation, how it was done. I want to know. I
Okay.
am not saying, tell me
Okay.
that today you summoned 10 witnesses. I'm not asking for those details.
So
No.
let's agree to disagree. Let's agree to disagree, gentlemen. Let's agree to disagree. So I
Mukabwana nabo kulirako.
think we all agree. We all agree on that one. Crime in the ministries is high, in the government is high, and it's been high for a long time. Okay, what are we going to do about it?
Deal with it.
Yeah,
Deal
and
with
change certain laws.
Bakombe, deal with it. Bakombe.
Yeah.
No,
So
we're trying. In the 3 years,
in any case, we need to change certain laws, certain provisions. Let's oh no, let's
that's an
now
assumption.
let's stick to the program. Let's not go sideways. Boom. Let's talk about some developmental issues now. I think we need to give some news. I think it's time for Kwenyulaing now. Oil refinery, crude oil refinery plant copper belt. People have been crying, and they've been complaining to say of a few years it went up because a crude oil refinery plant in Zambia. If I remember Bakalaba, he was on TV saying, oh, the only two things that are missing there is this and this and this and this. Nishi, what's this? Indeni Yabuk. So, but looking at when was when was it formed or when was it built? It was built in the Kaunda days. So we're looking at over 60 years, 50, 60 years, or 40 years, Anything that was installed there that long ago is, I think, obsolete right now. Even if you replace a small parts, it's obsolete. So the question now here is, or what the current government was doing was like, fine. They said they're going to move those pipes from Tazama area, Ikabafie, pure, what you call petroleum, that will be diesel and petroleum that will be coming from there. The people were condemning, finish much there, finish much there, finish much there. In the meantime, the president was investing in an oil refinery plant in Angola, which the Zambian government owns 20% now. And then on top of that, there's a deal that has been struck to build a 1.1 billion refinery plant in Ndola. I think it can get vakazia. Mr. Gazia, you don't want to touch that?
In anything that is developmental, I like whatever is developmental. The only concern I always express is the issues to do with who owns it. Because we can develop, but then Mwasangati, we don't own it. It's
it's ours. We own it.
No, if we own it, what percentage of shares do we have it?
Konka bwino sana echo the current government. Mapipi tuletoa ama kind of investment.
What is our shareholding in Mapipi? Oh,
the details you and I don't know, but let's look at what good will it do? That's what we want to discuss.
Okay, I like it. First, I've told you I like it, but I'm not.
So, what good will it do for the people of the Copper Belt?
Me, I would say I like it, but I don't just end there. Because that is simplistic. Yes, I don't want to be simplistic. No.
Abantu ba Zambia obalewumpwa balefo okumfa simplistic then.
No, why is
Tabalefo
simplistic?
kupanga complicated sana.
Abena Zambia baleko okwishyura ni bani abene ni bani musheni fwe natupata mo lubali kwete munga keshu. I think that is not asking too much.
Yeah. So
Mama.
anyway.
But anyway, let's see how it is going to unfold. It's a good, it's a good plan that, if achieved, will be really massive, and it will add a lot of value to bring the cost of fuel down. And it would not be nice to say, oh, there's nothing good that may come out of it. I think there will be something that is good that should come out of that if it is done. And I don't think that I would say anything other than saying that's a good plan. It's a good plan. Let's see how it is actualized. If it is actualized, the better. So that is what I can say. It's a good plan. Let them just go ahead and actualize it.
So ya kwenye ule mnamlanda kwenye utefu.
Kwenye kesanga chafu chitika. Pali no na chitika twachimona to each. Then you say, oh, kwenyu now. Because kwenyu ni result. Kwenyu take process now. You don't kwenyu the process, you kwenyu the result. Filamulanda ati, mwasaranda ati, oh, Ndola chani mulanda chani ati Ndola ila bridge mwachi ntumi na hii. Ngayapwa walanda ati kwenyu nombei bridge hapo. Nomba nota ati yatule tontonka chapa kupanga bridge ati kwenyu. Itontonka nyolibe kwenyu. We bachanda.
Okay. So anyway, we've got a new entrant now. Got Mr. Nalubuto. I don't know if it's a he or she. Natubuto. Opomuli. You can just join in and the discussion and introduce yourself. And where you're calling from or listening from. Hello? Mr. Nalubuto. Hello? No, I guess it's probably just listening. So, but Danny, the oil refinery plant in Ndola, crude oil. We're talking about crude oil.
All right. Yeah, when I heard that news, I was very, very excited. It's very good. Of course, it has more advantages than disadvantages, of course. It's going to definitely bring more positive thing to our country than the cost. So I came to realize that this plan, it's not, we haven't yet reached the agreement to say we're going to do it. They're still looking for money. It's going to be what's the PPP, whatever they call them, private partner, public, whatever they call it, PPP.
No, the agreement has been signed, Danny. Has been signed.
Yeah, but the money has been borrowed from the private sector as well as the government. The government has put in money. Yeah. It's not 100% ours. It's not going to be ours. It's a PP. It's a private, public-private partnership project.
Yes.
It's not 100% Zambian.
No.
It's owned by private sector too. Okay. Now we don't know as my friend Chandagazia there is saying, we don't know in terms of shares how much we have put in and how much the private sector has put in. I think that's the information.
I can tell you. Go ahead, but let's just find. I saw that one. I saw it. Go ahead, but I'll tell you.
If we know those ratios, that would be very nice, because the private sector, they don't put money where they don't want to. They're not going to make money anyway. So if we know the ratios, that would be very nice. The other challenge that I asked my friend who is in the petroleum industry, why we haven't been doing this for a long time. I was telling him, this our government is doing this. He said, Danny, a refinery is a very, very expensive thing to do. Of course, it's 1 point something to just set it up, and maintenance is very what. Now, if Zambia, he said Zambia does not really consume, as a country, does not really consume as much fuel as the refinery. Setting up its own refinery in the sense that I think he talked about whatever metric, whatever pay. How much we consume is in thousands, 60,000 or whatever he was talking about. But a refinery produces millions of tons or barrels or whatever per day. Okay, so he was saying, I hope the government have thought about what they're going to be doing with the excess crude oil fuel that they're going to produce, because a plant of that magnitude, you can't run it only 60,000 barrels per day. It don't make economic sense at all. So it's definitely going to be requiring to produce a lot of refined product. Now we need to reach agreements. What are we going to do with the excess type of fuel that we're going to have? Are our neighbors ready to import or not? So we need to think about that well in advance. Otherwise, we're going to be stuck with this amount of fuel that we can't use as a country ourselves. The other thing he talked about was the fact that if we have this crude oil, refinery, and yet we don't mine our own crude oil, he says the advantages are very, very slim, in the sense that you're going to incur a cost of refining this crude oil that you're going to be importing from Saudi Arabia or from Angola or whatever, and you bring it in and then refine it yourself and all that. So if you look at the both equations, you might find that it's better just to import a finished product. He's not very sure as to whether that was done, but if you put in the input of saying, for example, you want to go to the restaurant and cook and eat, all right? Is it better for you to go and spend $30 to go and eat from a restaurant other than going to the supermarket and buy these things that's in cheap? Okay, I'm buying this, onion, tomatoes, and this, and then you put in, okay, power, this and that. And in the end, if you compare the two, then you'd say, you know what? It's better just for me to go and eat. I'll spend 15 minutes, I'm done, I'm gone. If I buy this, so you have to compare both sides of the equation. So Zambia, I hope they did that to say it's going to make economic sense to import. We'll still be importing crude oil, just the way we import finished fuel. So we are still importing from Saudi Arabia or wherever we're importing it will be the same cost we are incurring right now from Saudi Arabia. We'll still be incurring it on crude oil. Same ships, same everything. Will be bringing those things in the country, and then we start refining it. So it's a thin line, or it's something that requires somebody to sit down in the calculator and see how much we'll be saving. But the fact that the government has gone ahead with it, I'm pretty sure our smart leaders have looked at both sides of the coin and say, okay, I think it's best for us to do this. But otherwise, it's a costly thing to run, and the maintenance is very, very high. And you might end up saying, oh my goodness, why did we do that? And you run it for a few years and then you just have to shut it down. It's very profitable in countries which produce their own oil because they don't incur the transportation cost of crude oil. But if you have to import crude oil and then refine, that's why in the US, you guys from the US, the refineries are near the oil in the Louisiana area there, because that's where they mine it and that's where they refine it. But you can't have oil one end of the globe and the refinery the other side. It doesn't make economic sense. But anyway, I just hope our government did their part analyzing that. And I think we're going to be exporting the excess. That's my view. I think we're going to be supplying our neighbors for that purpose. That's my take on that one.
Through the chair, here's my submission, moderator. I think what the president is doing is an amazing job. And this is why for 57 years, we were waiting for this one man. HH is the man. The man has been tying all the loose ends. He's dealing with the fundamental aspects that drive an economy. He's dealing with agriculture. He's dealing with energy and the mining sectors. All these things are vital to the growth of our economy. I'll give an example. Which one is cheap? Buying meal, which is maybe 320, or growing your own corn and you have Ichigayo, a hammer mill on your farm. Of course, growing your own crop and doing, if you got, is cheaper. It's the same with the oil thing. You mentioned something, Vachanda. The deal that we made, the investment that we've made in Angola, we're getting 26% of the oil. And now we'll be refining the crude oil. That is a plus for any economy. What drives an economy is the energy that you have. The lower the price of oil or gas, the better the economy, because the cost of business is tied to the price of petrol. So you imagine if we have the cheapest petrol. It's not just our economy that can grow in terms of businesses being mushrooming. Prices are also affected. Prices will start going down because the cost of doing business is just low. Now we can also attract even headquarters from different companies to come into Zambia and set shop because the cost of doing business will be cheap. So these are things that will move things in Zambia. Why do you think the price of commodities and services go up whenever the price of petrol goes up? Everybody says, I'm after Navalunda, therefore Nalalunda Mabans. Number, you imagine if we start buying a gallon of petrol for 5 kwacha in this day and age. You imagine that. So this man who has come up, who is HH, he's thinking big. When the opposition is going around and still playing politics of the dead, this man is tying loose ends. Every day you are seeing the direction the country is taking. Already we harvested the largest harvest in the history of our country in the 60 years plus of corn, almost 4 million tons. Oh, right? This was deliberate. When he started doing those projects, when he started bringing in the army and ZNS and farming all this corn, people were laughing. Now we are seeing results. It's the same thing with the energy thing. How many? We have the largest solar plant outside South Africa, in the southern region of Africa today. Some might say, oh no, the project started with the PF. They couldn't manage it. They had stopped. He saw it through. Now we're producing. That production will help the national grid. When power becomes cheaper, it means our businesses will flourish, right? We're catering for the mines. So I've talked about agriculture. I've talked about energy. These are the things that he's looking at. He doesn't think small. When people are worried about who should be buried where, he's showing you the direction. And things are happening. He inherited a rotten economy. From head to toe, rotten. This man in 3 years has been putting effort in the trips. Look at the trips he was taking when he came into office. The opposition had a field day. Oh, Vasco da Gama, Marco Polo, Alenda Sana. This man, all these deals that are being implemented now, they were negotiated when he was traveling. So it shows that we have a leader today that we were waiting for 57 years. So this man, look at what he's doing. 26% in the oil deal in Angola. 26% is not a joke. That will put the price of oil in our country down. So I love what the president is doing. This man, I wish he had to do 15 years as president. Unfortunately, he will end in 2031.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
that being said,
I want to rebuttal that one.
okay, go ahead.
And I don't know, which one would you live in? If it's in Zambia, yes. When we live in the diaspora and we talk like that, it is very, very, it's very nice. It's so good when you're in the diaspora and you are misleading people that are in Zambia, like, oh, this is a God-given. There's no such a thing. There's no such a thing. There's nothing, oh, God given me what? Those are statements of appeasement, which don't take presidents anywhere.
Let's talk about the issue. Let's talk about the issue.
Back here. No, that's my opening statement. Here where you are saying rotten, the economy was not rotten. You cannot come and double the cost of living. 300%, I don't know what you do, where you took it from. From 50 kwacha to 350 kwacha. You were giving statistics, figures. You come and start exporting power to your own until you almost kill your medium to small scale industries.
Let's talk about the oil refinery plant.
Bachanda.
That's what we're talking about.
No.
Let's not digress.
When we discuss here, you cannot want politics. When you've done something good, just go ahead, let's look at it. But when you say, oh, rotten, then we can point to so many things that are rotten now. People are not eating. You say, I'm right.
Oil refinery.
No, I'll talk about oil refinery. Oil refinery talked about it, and I said it's a good gesture to move forward.
Okay.
And I don't want to politics, but to come and start saying, oh, this is rotten, this is rotten, what, that is just bad.
Yeah, okay. But Danny, I want to Valerwa sana. Mr. Danny, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. No, Chanda wants to bring history. We don't want to go back to history. We are looking forward as a European.
Yes, that's what
we are forward, Chabe, forward. We don't want to start talking about, when he was elected in 2021. No, that's history. That's past. No. We are looking forward. So let's remind our friend that we are not Dununa Rivesi. We are forward moving. So we are looking at the front, not the back.
Fantastic. So as an addition on this one, actually, it's not only going to be an oil refinery plant, but it's going to come with a solar plant as well. It's going to come with 100 megawatt solar plant. So it will be self-sustaining in terms of energy. And this is the direction that the government and the current president has been saying, like all these new industries that are going to be coming up, they should be coming up with other sources of alternate energy other than relying on ZESCO. Because we want to cushion or remove ZESCO out of the equation and give it enough energy to supply to the local people. Now, 130 megawatts is not a small deal. Just look at the 100 megawatts that was done in Zambia recently. When this is done, they will have 130 megawatts. And the plant itself, I think they're saying it only requires like maybe half of 130 of energy. The rest will go into the grid, and that grid meaning all the local areas, surrounding areas, will have electricity. So anybody who lives in that area, the vicinity, all those businesses, they'll have electricity without relying on ZESCO. Which is
boom, that is the debate. Today,
so those are the issues. So and look at how many jobs are going to be created. Jobs, directly and indirectly. So anyway, I don't know where the argument is, but the oil refinery plant, it is good because Zambia needs we need to get diesel. We need to get all these other type of oil will never go out of fashion, or it will never expire. Everybody needs oil. So it doesn't matter how much you need. You can even keep it as reserves. We can even put reserve plants across Zambia where you just store them. In case of an emergency, you have where you can draw from. There are countries that do that. In fact, most modern countries do that. They've got oil reserve plants. Okay? In case of an emergency, in case of war, you see, you don't have to rely to say, oh, let's wait for to get from Middle East for oil to. You have your own oil that you can rely on within the country. In case of
contribution when you're done, Bachan. I have a short contribution over that. I think there's something what Danny said, which I think probably it has not been paid the attention to very adequately. But Dan raised the challenges of springing up a refinery in terms of the numbers, in terms of the size of the economy, in terms of maybe the profitability of running that refinery. So I think I didn't know about that, Wadan. When you spoke about that, it kind of sent me thinking that, do we see this happening in the next 5-10 years? Maybe we may need a little bit more when we get the deals and get country to country kind of arrangement that, okay, Zambia will refine, but which country are going to get from Zambia and things like that. But I think the challenges that you raised, Wadan, they are very significant. They need to be really looked at.
That's why we need to give HH more years.
So in any case,
not a solution. That's not a solution.
No. In any case, I said this. No, this is going to be built by the end of 2026.
That's not possible.
What?
That one is not possible, but let's be realistic. You can't build the refinery in the manner that you are saying in 2026. It will not happen.
Anyway,
if it happens, how come
technology yachinja. Tema refinery ya kuindeni ekoko mwale ya kuindeni. Kyali kusana.
Nga ikabako refinery yotuleranda built from scratch yapwa. Awe apo nkesa mukulanda kwenyu ni nebo. And you should hold me accountable for this. Not where you are not held accountable. Me, you should come and hold me accountable. But I'll come and say, if it is going to happen before 2026, but now even if it doesn't happen, you should come and apologize in the same way.
Yeah, we can apologize, but as long as what the information not that we have, unless something changes.
Takulia excuses yakobati awe kwali drought yo awe takwali itakulia tukwali drought nga walufyanya kusuminati nindufyanya. So in a plan I am very commitment that nga mwapisha refinery in 2026 nkesa pano nokusala ndapafora mwatawe lelo in fact mukanje nkanda na kwenyu ngalanda nokuti no depend kwenyu on this one yena nkesa not mukumo maybe 5 times. But na imwe ngata ipwi mukesa mukulanda sorry takuli ama excuses filamu alela ndati no tamwene kuli drought but mwana ndati kwa Dubai kwa drought but wao katama right so tatulifaya kwa mazelo.
Anyway, so let's move on. Last topic, Vane. Everybody can come in and then discuss and then everybody can jump in, but the core of any economy, I think we know, is the small businesses. Small businesses are the core of any economy in the world. And Zambia now is saying, like, they're putting up 37.5 million United States dollars in the small and medium businesses, enterprises, SMEs. So, but they become 37.5 million. So, meaning that Mariaba kweteko tuma business. Ati?
Shache pesha sana.
Mwantu akwasanga mwachitrenshi ba PF. If a trust about 37.5, namo mfiti mwachiteko. No, for a start, No.
Conversation. This is where you lose the conversation.
It sounds small to you, but
no. Listen, it's a start. When I say it is small, I would love, and these are the things that you should
tell me out loud.
The problem mind that you must oppose at all costs. Even without a mind of no. And then this way of answering everything, CF was taken out. You cannot remember more explanation. We were voted out. But from Yapo. Now, okay.
So what's your complaint?
So number cheaper in comparison to what?
That's what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say.
How much did you put in Imwe? A question Yabachanda. You guys were in power for 7 years. How much did you put in for you to say cheaper? What do you mean?
Conversation over UPN.
Okay, tell us what you think. Okay, tell us what you think would have been the best.
Yes, that is what you need
best
to sit down and listen to. Now, problem that's why people land of AI.
Not to me platform.
President with president. That's why the president that's the question that I should be able to explain. That Shachepa Munshilanshi, what would I have loved to see? Then one Gafile Panga sense, that okay, yes, if the Panga sense are out, the Panga sense on this grounds.
Okay.
Not at all. You know, they're not Shachepa. Mavikile Mushinga.
Landeni kabiri vakazira ni Shachepa shani. Shachepa shani. Landeni.
When I say Shachepa, when you look at the ministry which has been put in place, the structure of the ministry and the expansion of decentralized systems, because the decentralized systems to take this money into the local authorities and where these things are, and making sure that the medium to small scale in the, people are targeted. But then when you look at 7.5 million, when you look at how many constituencies can that even cover, you're talking about maybe 200,000, maybe $50,000 per constituency or something like that. So I'm saying this is a good move, but maybe this is where we need to put a little bit more money so that in the Lama Church attached to each and every of those constituencies. Because when it comes to 7.5 million, the impact may not be felt on the ground, but it's a good initiative.
I like what you have said, Vakazi, and I agree with you 100%. Here's what you might also have not thought about. That's besides the CDF. CDF is already helping local businesses. On top of it, there's also a deliberate policy of bringing in money to identify small businesses. CDF 1.6 million. Number 35 million. But are you understanding? So CDF policies, they say businesses or contracts should be given to people in the constituency. Already that's boosting small businesses in the constituency. Mpia balele ete nombal akaide kwena olukwenyulo alamika time kwena ishale ete shakutsitanomba improve na yambya ama businesses uyu muntu kwena wabantu mwashire 1.6 million nafika yena shingoko
imwana muipaya the mana bridge ya CDF muipango kukuchika ngona nikuli ama bridge ya CDF mwayase ndama gampozi yo mwana pangira bridge tamula panga yawe ya CDF. Who is the
MP in that area? Who is the MP?
The UPND MP. What are you talking about?
Who is it, Kaidi?
Who is from Leranda?
Ndumwezi bachanda that bridge. They take Ndumwezi.
Yabu fifidana imwe.
No.
But here's the thing. To the country imwe.
No. Okay.
Mwalitala ma. Ukutala mata kwa. Mama nenunga wale ndeba. 1.5 million. There was money that was going to set our ministry very functional.
Okay.
Infrastructure ministry was functional. They have 1.5 million, we talk 30 million. No, send them a card as more pay. For every day, from the people that you capacity. You have no capacity to even absorb. Eloma said that Gavin Combo was on record that in the Lama she no shire. Ama central, ama programs under CDF, ya fully shine the Lama Shachepa. He is on record of having said that.
Do you know how many MPs, PFMPs were not using CDF money?
Each time of politics in Africa, first of all, when we are talking professional, we take the politics aside. We say, okay, how can we analyze this? How can we
all right, okay.
Wow.
So
nobody must have a problem, even on a professional forum.
Okay, this is underneath. Bridge area. One, we don't know who the contractor. Okay. In any case, the issue your government. This is now. This is now a Papa constitutional level, member of parliament, councillor level. Because
what is wrong with what I'm saying?
Yes, okay. Hey, there's always a rotten what you call a rotten nut in a bunch. So nomba moneni wakazia iyo mulera ndapo mulesta po report iyo nani kane bridge. It is not an example of what's happening everywhere in the country. No. That's not an example of what's happening everywhere. But what we can do is condemn it to say, moneni, abantu, they were not paying attention, especially the leaders. Indaramba bami pera wino mwafu kuntunkanya mwapela ma substandard contractors to build the bridge. Okay?
What is it wrong from what I said that it's not
I'm just saying what you're saying and complimenting what you're saying. But what I'm saying is this. These issues, we cannot say it's what's happening everywhere in the country. Therefore, I think what we need to, the point we need to hammer on is, let's put proper professionals. And then, this is actually a reason why the government, via kuma Chinese, Chinese, Zambians, what to pay. What are we doing? We're doing sub-standard.
It is encouragement. That's for me. What you're saying is what we need to be discussing here and saying, okay, the problem. PF political. Then I have
but what we're saying is just looking at from outside looking in. Going forward, to a certain standard, a certain caliber of abantu what
100% I agree.
Bali kwati track record eba akulire chirya not at job on training. No, we don't need job on training contractors. We need people Zambians say, okay, let's give a Zambian. We need to get our Zambians track records. You can be able to point. This is what they've done. No, so on our industry, that's why sometimes the government Chinese watch TV. What is you see? And people now start complaining that jobs are Chinese. But look, every time it has been the issue for years and years and years. The government of no. It's been happening for years. People have been complaining at it. So I'm a contractors in association. Can you please put in place and be in charge of these programs and projects? It makes sure I want to go because ala substandard jobs. There should be a certain level. There should be a certain level or a bar to say ngaba pera umuzambian same level umuchocholi naenda ngatoba no muzambia toba baposhana na pama ukati yes boy uli mkali na uli mkali no tipo na twikala tuletamba vema chocholi vale pangendra no. So why are we been training engineers and contractors for the last 50 years? Got to tell
Makadas Mwamona When this, it could be in a PF controlled local authority, where PF would have a upper hand in terms of the contractors and others. But UPND Nabo would have the upper hand in the contractors for the people that they are saying this. This is why standards needs to be done. For instance, let me share an example what I found in China. China kwabo kwebati ngabalekula ifintu bali kwatama levels level yellow, blue, green and red star. Ngabalanda red star. These are people that can work maybe from 10 floors ukuya pamulu. If they are building anything that is 10 to floor, they will just pick red stars. Whether it be a carpenter, be this, because they know that a person might have 10 years of experience and stuff like that. Or e group ikule, Every group ileyamba. It's not always that abantu and I agree with this. It's not always that people some degrees for them to know how to do bricklaying. Other people learn through experience. So 5 years, between 0 and 5 years, you can only work for projects that are this scale. Bridge, drainage. Bridge, this is the level that we are looking out for. But also, what a problem that we've created for ourselves. You see, we stopped the issue of which start discrimination based on the region. Project. We said the project, any Zambian should be able to work in capacity to work there. Now, it didn't just start in UPND. MUPF, that is why we ran to change the law. Because na NFI, kuna tuwefaya abantu babashaba kuno tuwefaya abana besu bengire nchito mamona babengisa abana babwe nchito bati babombe substandard because now batamsha abana bafuma kumbi abe na Zambia who have the capacity. Now we said let's clear the law twafumya hapo ijagwe takuli ukubomfya region, takuli ukubomfya tribe, takuli ukubomfya sex or whatever orientation to stop a person from coming to work anywhere in Zambia. But what I have heard in Parliament and elsewhere, bonsenga kwa project nomba abana besu bengire nchito mulera nataba na besu chena musumina bakumbi bese nomba tuyo twayamba futi fwebe no kuita discriminate and abana besu bade balipo they start now the first time ukuishwa kupanga bridge. You can't blame them. They will just think, oh, sheba panga shani bridge bapanga ka makeshift because in the lama bale fashishari paloko. But I think we need to work around this, do a skills assessment which is really good, categorize it, and then make people start to work at different levels until they build the capacity. I think there's always a starting point. There will be mistakes, of course, that people can make when they start. Like right now, our people will make mistakes. And for me, we shouldn't rush to penalize them really much. Let's work and retrain them and help them. So that why should a mistake to avoid is this? Because at times we are too quick to demonize our own people when they make mistakes instead of helping them to learn. So even in a bridge, it's a learning curve for our people. We must be able to speak about it and speak more in a positive way. Guys, but let's not demonize them because they are learning. So for me, I would rather I take an approach where we start to streamline them where there are mistakes. We learn without ukwambukta defend. Government ngana feel bana yes not rufianya abantu besu na barufianya, but we work on them. It is important to capacity build our Zambians anywhere. I think that is the approach I would recommend.
I agree with you,
Wakombe, before you come in, Wakombe, sorry, before you come in, Wariki has been quiet. I didn't notice that he's been in the background. Wariki, are you here now? Amwanza muliko?
Nilipo.
Hey, kambani mdala tibwanji.
I've just come back and sneaked out for a few minutes.
Okay.
For now, I'll follow the discussion and make a contribution soon.
Okay. Oh, you want to make it later? Okay, no problem. Go ahead, Wakombe.
I'm quiet. Mr. Ricky, how are you, sir? It's nice to hear your voice. I think I agree 100% with what Wakazila said. I think this thing of just narrowing down to contracts being given in a constituency really has been a problem. I understand what the government, the administration has been trying to do, but I think they should broaden it to the province, not the constituency. Get contractors or people to provide a service from the province, not the constituency. I say this because it's not every constituency that will have skilled people to do a job. For instance, build a clinic or maybe build a bridge. So I think maybe they should up it to the province if you want money to circulate within a certain area. I think that is a very big concern. This thing of just dishing out money and you're forcing MPs to spend it, even on projects that have nobody to do them, I think this is what has let the CDF down. I like what the president is doing. Again, tremendous job. I understand. He campaigned on this, actually, decentralizing the government, and he has done it. CDF, we're still learning every single year. There are certain things that are changed. And I think with time, it'll be a big plus. And that's the reason why we're winning the rural areas. The opposition is in trouble. The entire rural area is just UPND because people are seeing what the president has brought. They're seeing the free education, agriculture, all these things. So the president has been doing a good job, but we can do better when it comes to CDF by highlighting some of the points that Vakazila made.
Fantastic. I think we need to close now. We can have our very last remarks.
So in
ngamwaikala zisana mwamona nombaga
na munsula lelo bachanda kwatitatu
but awe badani mwe wantu wakolesa badani it's your flow
ndelomba fya flow ndelomba fya people nanyambire anyway. For me, I agree with my friend Chandakazia here and Bakombe. First of all, Zambia, we are still a developing country. We cannot have specialists, okay, in the constituency, in everything, okay? It's not possible. We are not yet there. My son is a civil engineer. He tells me that in civil engineering, we have specialists. There are people who specialize in road building, bridge building, stories, 30-floor story buildings and all that. So even underwater, I didn't know, under the sea construction. So they are specialists in these things. But in Zambia, the engineering, I know we haven't yet reached there, the Engineering Institute of Zambia. When someone graduates as a civil engineer, they want to do everything. They want to build a house, they want to build a road, they want to build this, they don't specialize. If you don't specialize in any field, you're not going to be very good because you'll be general. Just like when you have a heart problem, you don't go to a general practitioner. You go to the cardiologist who are specialized in that. So what I'm seeing here first is lack of engineering or specialist construction companies in Zambia. We can't compare to China that have special companies that construct roads, special companies that construct high-rise apartments, special rail lines and all that. So for us, we're not yet there, but let's seek those people that have experience in building bridges, for example. Even if they're in Chipata, that company is in Chipata, but it has been building bridges in Zambia. Let's hire those people to build bridges even in Choma. Not saying, okay, the constituency, Mbabala constituency, want to build a bridge, we have to look for these young boys, a company that is located in Mbabala constituency. It will never happen. We don't have that capacity yet. So I think that what are the guideline? Is it a guideline or the rules of a CDF? That rule should be modified. We cannot say the contractors have to be local. There's no way. And that's what we're seeing there. I know the person is a civil engineer, but maybe he's just used to building houses or just used to building roads or something like that, but not the bridges. So we need to change that law Otherwise, we're going to lose the good intention our president is trying to bring to our country. So that's one thing. The other thing I want to bring to the attention of this group about CDF, also, we need to iron out the tug of war type of situation going on in terms of who is controlling what in terms of those type of constructions. I can assure you, if you dig deeper to that type of project, like that bridge, that pathetic bridge, that bridge actually has to be put down and start afresh. You'll find that maybe it was lack of funding, or someone was saying this, the other one was saying the other. So we need to streamline the chain of command in the CDF projects. It's chaotic out there. It's very, very chaotic. So we need to actually sit down and, these are the things that people are supposed to be debating in Parliament and make sure things are sorted out. But we are talking about, who's going to be buried where and when and all that type of thing. So that's the thing. So let's please streamline these processes and let's realize our deficiencies in terms of engineering capacity. If I were to be fair, I would still contract Chinese specialized contractors. We have 25 million. We can bring a Chinese company that will build us a very good bridge, because those are specialized engineering firms. They build bridges only, or they build roads only, and they build high rises only. Let's do that. Okay. I know we want to empower our people in the constituencies, but not at that cost, because that is a loss to our economy. Thank you.
All right, fantastic. I think we all agree. I think this is something that we can all agree. We need specialized individuals to be there and do. Even if we want to hire local people, like, look, can we train people in various specific fields? And if we train them, can we give them, like while they're in college or while they're studying at university, let them have that first-hand, training, so that they go and be hands-on before they complete their university. It should be a part of their college or their university program. They should be able to do something whereby even classified or well-known construction companies can say, this individual, yes, we have ticked, he can be able to do this. It should be serious. This is not a joke like this. We shouldn't be taking engineering as a joke or construction as a joke, because looking at how long the engineering has been or construction has been in the country, we're nowhere near we're nowhere near where China is. We're nowhere near anywhere. We can't say that we have a firm in Zambia that can say we built that. Okay, even in what you call it, the building society, it was a disaster. They gave it to the best minds and the best engineers in Zambia, but look what happened. You see? So we need to go back to the drawing board, go back to the books, go back to all these universities and colleges, go back to F.I.C. If we're training these individuals. Theory is good. Theory is good, but practical is the best. Most of these Chinese, guys haven't even been to college or university. To them, they've just, once they wake up, they tell them, we're going to be training you in this. That's it. And from there, they start learning. They learn. Those guys are not even educated. You can even be a master's or a PhD.
The difference is that our education is generalized. Okay? When you go to University of Zambia, you pass through the university, all of us here. So when you pass through the university, you are taught everything. And then when you graduate, that's when you are supposed to specialize in one thing. You can't continue. Our engineers in Zambia, when they graduate, they still want to get contracts from everywhere. They don't want to. Our economy is not that big enough to to really put people in one specialized area like doctors do, or I'm a cardiologist, I'm a pediatrician, I'm orthopedic surgeon. In Zambia, engineers are the same. They're supposed to specialize. But our engineers, because they want to grab every market. They want to build a house here. They want to build a sewer system. They want to do this. They want to build a road. They want to do this. You will not be good at it because you can't be a master of all.
Yeah.
So
that's why without holding you, but Danny, we need to make a specialization in these programs. When you go to university, you're studying engineering. Your first year should be general. Your second year, okay, if it's a 5-year program, your second year should be, now you're trying to figure out which direction you're going to go in. Third year, okay, now you know this is where I'm going. Fourth year, you should be going now into a practical program.
But the market cannot support such type of an engineer. How many bridges do we build a year? If you say, I'm going to be a civil engineer that specializes in bridge building, that's it. How many contracts are you going to get in a year? The economy is not big enough to support you as a bridge building engineer or as a airport engineer. For airports are built by special civil engineers.
If you can build a bridge, then you can be able to construct drainages. Then you should know how to do there's so many things. Okay, it's not just a bridge on its own, but it comes with so many other things that are attached to that. If you're able to do all those things,
but I agree with what the both of you are saying, and you're both right. But for me, I would even take it a little bit backward. Instead of starting Ku University, that's where you start specialization. Start from 5th grade. Here in the US, I'll give you an example. When our kids reach maybe the 6th grade, they go to middle school. The schools are magnet schools, meaning they specialize. From grade 6, if it's an engineering magnet, if it's different kind of specialization magnet, they start from there. Start these kids early, 6th grade. If somebody is good at maybe agriculture, if there's a science magnet high school, primary school, that's what they attend. Why do you do that? So you eliminate certain subjects that they don't need to focus on. So let's identify some of these people way back when they're still young, so that it's much easier when they grow up to specialize. But when you start specializing when you go to university, it's too late. That's the reason why first year somebody's just there. They still don't know what they want to do. And you end up learning things that you're not even supposed to learn. We're learning history of people. I can be better even on history when it comes to history than a person who's from Germany. I can tell you about Hitler, Weimar Republic, but how is that applying to my life today?
We have changed that as UPND. That has gone. That's a new curriculum now.
I still need to look at the curriculum.
Actually, that's good. The last one has changed.
The last one is next year. Everyone.
But they still learn history. They still learn history. They still learn geography of Canada, right?
It is streamlined. No. They don't do that.
No.
They don't do that.
It's all changed now.
Yeah.
The curriculum has changed back home.
Well, it has, but what has been changed?
Everything.
It's what is known as it's a stream. The same thing we're talking about streaming. It's a streaming system.
Yeah.
So from grade 7, the students are either going to go into science-based streaming or social sciences stream.
Oh, that's good. That's very good if they're doing that.
What we're talking about is what the UPND government is implementing starting next year.
That's good. If we're doing that, identifying people from grade 7, not to identifying people when they go to university. No, that's way too late. You have so many people now going to all these universities and they don't know what they have to do. You can't.
Hello. Is that Mr. Mwanza?
Yeah, that's me now.
Okay, go ahead.
I just want to comment on this issue of trade, specialization, and so on. Now, let's look back where we've come from. When we privatized, what we did was we sold the mines and parastatals. And those mines and parastatals had training institutions where they trained craftsmen. Okay, so when we privatize them, it means that we killed a certain layer of technicians. So since we privatized, from that time, we've not grown our technician training. Even the trade training institutions that were in every province, they stopped teaching crafts. They started teaching business. I'll give an example of Lusaka Trades, for instance. It's more of a business school now. It's Lusaka Business Training School. When it was Lusaka Trades, there was a reason behind that. The idea was that we should have an education system which has got a bell shaped. Okay, you have a small group of graduates, and the bell there should have a lot of technicians. But now you have more universities than trades training. Even private, there's literally no private trades training institute. So what we need to do is to make a deliberate move to try and create more trades training institutions in the provinces. Our youth are just sitting
in fact, not to cut you short, but Mwanza, most of the trade schools were being turned into business schools. A lot across the country. There were trade schools all across the country. I remember when I was in Livingston, I was trying to do a certain program where I went to Livingston business. It was called Livingston Trades. They turned it around into a Livingston Business Institution. You see, they changed the whole. You see,
the running costs of a business school are very, very low. The running cost of a trade school, one lathe machine is $250,000. One. So it's very expensive.
But I think that's I like what Mwanza is trying to say here, and taking the point that it's expensive. These should be deliberate policies by government. They shouldn't just let it for people who want to invest in all these colleges. No, a deliberate program. Find money somewhere. You can cut money from somewhere and fund these trade schools. You see, agriculture, engineering, and all those things. So it should be a deliberate. It should be in the budget. Deliberate policy. Government should
go ahead, Mwanza. Go ahead, Mwanza.
If you look at nursing, now we have a nursing school almost in every district, and what that has done is that we have actually developed so many, so many nurses have graduated and they can't find jobs. So what we need to do is to encourage private companies, private training institutions, and give them grants. Start small so that they do the training. Then this program, Eco Stress Development Fund, in fact, can benefit right now. For instance, in Chipata, if they want to use that money to train people, they have to send those people to Lusaka, when they could have actually been training bricklayers right there in Chipata. And not only government training institutions, because the amount of people graduating from colleges, high school, is very, very big. So encourage private companies. And there are a lot of people that used to be in Taveta that have retired. And most of them are in the provinces. Those are the people that should be able to lead. I think it's the problem we have is that we don't address these issues. Even this national service thing that has been seen is a very, very good concept. But is it sustainable? Not sure, because it was stopped by UNIC because it was very, very expensive. But if you put it in private hands, let the private initiative actually do the training for crafts, then won't go wrong. If you notice, 10 years ago, you could not get a person that could do rhino ride in Zambia. We had to get bricklayers from Zimbabwe. But in the process, there's been a transfer of knowledge. If you go out now in our cities, Copperbelt, Lusaka, you find that the people that are doing these beautiful ceilings are actually Zambians. So it doesn't take long to train these people. But we just need to make a deliberate move to do that. Thank you.
Fantastic. That's a good submission. I think now we need to close up and wind up. Any last words from Wakazia?
Kazia is not here.
Oh, Wakazia is gone. Okay. So, but Danny, give us your last words. Then we go to Wakombe, and then Amwanza, and then we'll close the program because we need to go now.
All right. For me, as UPND supporter and a Zambian, I like what I'm seeing. Our government is pushing the economic growth agenda very, very seriously, and we are seeing things moving, which is refreshing, really refreshing. It's something that we should all support, and all well-meaning Zambians should support our president, because he's got a vision for this country, and we can see things moving. And in the next 5-10 years, we will all be celebrating the success of his plans. So I just want to encourage everybody to support this president. Thank you.
Okay, that's good. Mr. Kombe?
Thank you so much. Yeah, I like what the president is doing as well. It's a step forward. We're in the right, we're heading the right direction. However, I would love to see more of his ministers go out there and sell the vision of what's happening in the ministries. People should be going, we need more leaders to help the president. We shouldn't just see the president going out there doing all these things. These leaders, the ministers, the PEMSECs, they need to go out, go listening to us so that they explain some of the policies the president is trying to push. This should not be just left for the president alone. That's just my appeal. I would like to see ministers fold their sleeves and they're in the nitty-gritties there, doing the job and listening to people. Sell the vision. The president has done a lot, but we're not seeing his cabinet come out and simplify these things. They're in the cabinet, they're voting on all these issues. When you come out, don't leave it to the president alone. Take your ministry, go to the people, explain what you have agreed together with the president. So kudos to the president, right direction, good leader.
Amwanza.
Yeah, a lot of things, good things happening out there. I just want to echo what Wakombe said, that we need to see the visibility of our ministers. Some of them have not bought into the vision. They need to buy into the vision. You can only go and sell something that you bought into. So it looks like those that are not going out there have not bought in the vision. Perhaps they're not relevant, So if they're not relevant, they should pull up the sources, But as far as the Quenu thing, the Quenu list is just too big, to talk about. There's so many things, good things that have been happening. I've been out there in the rural areas. Last December, I visited almost 5 districts in Eastern Province, and I could see that people are appreciating the work that is going on. But one of the complaints that was coming out from the grassroots was the fact that there's very little visibility of our political leaders. Probably they've not bought into the vision, so they need to buy into the vision. Maybe the vision is too big for them to digest. Thank you.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a very important information to have, because who are leaders if what's a constitution or what's a constituency without their leaders? That's a side development actually if that's what's happening. And I believe I think the way the parliament is set up, most of the time they spend their time in Lusaka, so they are forced to have 2 homes, one in Lusaka, one in the constituency, and they most of the all these ministers, they decide just to reside in Lusaka. They don't even want to go back and go back to the constituencies, and they don't even know what's going on, which is an unfortunate problem or fact. But all in all, like with me, my last remarks, I can say, like, the UPND government is at the bridge or at a pinnacle of becoming one of the largest. In fact, Zambia is going to become one of the largest economies in Africa. We are that's where we are right now. If all these things that are being put in place strategically, opening up all these oil refineries, all these mines opening up, and all these what you call farm projects that are happening through Zambia National Service, Zambia Army, and now ZAF. So, look, people are saying, like, why are they using ZNS, Zambia Army, and ZAF? It's a service. At the end of all these institutions, there's a word called service. And that's their service. Okay? So if they can be able to do all those things, and we have state farms dotted all around, and more state farms have to be built. Ubunga in the next coming 5 years will not be as expensive as it is today, because we have a lot where we can be able to eat ourselves and export to our neighboring countries. So all these things, people are saying, no, why this or no? It's a strategic move. Chimochi and Nama fertilizer plants. Zambia nitrogen chemicals is going to be online soon. The government has spent millions of dollars to put new equipment in that industry, in that plant, so that it's up to par with United Capital Fertilizer. Because United Capital Fertilizer, we're speaking right now, they're already exporting their fertilizer, and they're about to finish, they're about to launch up there right now. I think in the next coming month, we'll be hearing the president going to commission the urea plant. So these are strategic moves. Why are they strategic moves? Because you need to eat. As a country, one, just like any other a country surrounding Zambia, and if we're self-sustaining, where we don't even need to say, can we go to Russia to order fertilizer? Can we go to this country? We just say, United Fertilizer, how many bags do you have? How many do you produce? Bring this ton here. How many urea? Bring this, and then we distribute to our farmers. And that's where this is where we are. And the government is saying, the president is saying, 24/7 farming. 365 days or 64 days. It should be farming. There's nothing like farming season. That one is going to be scrapped off. It will be all year round. Gatakulimfula irrigation. So those are the issues, and we need to be up to par, and start ticking, renewing before 2026. There's so many things that's happening, but we're all excited because at least finally we have a government that can actually work and think and produce and deliver. Finally, not just the institutions that just talk, and they're not delivering, but deliverables are there for us to see. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us. Thank you. We appreciate your time, and join us next week, same time, and we'll tackle different ideas. And if there's somebody that wants to contribute, you can go in the inbox and say something. Thank you, but we appreciate your time. God bless, and Zambia will be great again.